Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Lake Elsinore Special. And I got a lot of propositions for you. I got a lot of propositions to offer you. But first, I'm going to start with the Proposition Z. And the Proposition Z is going to keep our public safety and our well-being safe. And it's going to also decrease the drug activity and the gang activity on the streets, which I'm totally down for. You know, you got a lot of fools out here making life hard for everybody, even though life is already hard enough. We already go through a lot of struggle and pain, but drugs and gangs commit genocide among our community. So we need to vote yes on Proposition Z. Voting yes on Proposition Z can also qualify and uplift the quality of life in your community, make it safer. Can also effectively solve our homeless crisis with the homeless people on the street. If you're from Lake Elsinore, you know that our homeless crisis is bad, especially over in Four Corners area off of Riverside Drive. You guys know, you women know that we got a bad homeless crisis problem in Lake Elsinore. You know, down in the hills of Lake Elsinore where the lake is, it's a big homeless community, and we need to help those people. It will also keep our parks open, clean and safe for our community to enjoy. And this is why you need to vote yes on Proposition Z. And also on a side note, I want to go off on a little rant real quick. Defunding the police. I don't think defunding the police is the issue. I don't think that's the answer to police reform. Do we need police reform? Yes, we do. Absolutely, 100%. If you don't think we need some type of police reform, then you don't want to admit the problem. We do need some type of justice and police reform, but defunding the police is not the issue. Now, one thing that I do think that we should do for police reform, we need to teach social studies classes about different cultures, different ethnics, different backgrounds, different groups, different ways of life that you and I live. We all don't live the same type of lifestyle. We may be American people, but we do not live the same way. You know, some of us are Hispanic American. Some of us are African American. We got different culture, values, different views on life. And teaching social issues and teaching social studies issues and police training before they get a gun and a badge, that can fix it. Why don't you take a 5-month class about how it feels to be a Hispanic American in this country? Why don't you take a 5-month class about being an African American in this country and the struggles and everything that they go through? We're not just going to give you a badge because you got a clean record and you look nice and you took a good test. It takes more than that, because not everybody with a clean record is a good person. And I'm just putting that out there. Just because you got a clean record does not mean that you're fit and you're content with serving a community that you know nothing about. It's like somebody getting hired to go patrol in Compton, but they come from Beverly Hills. The people in Beverly Hills is not going to understand the person's struggle that lived in Compton all their life. Let's be real. Let's be honest. And another thing about that. For instance, you may not never had a black friend before. And I don't mean someone that you just walked by in the hallway and slapped hands with and said, "What's up?" to. I mean someone that you shared dinner at the dinner table with. That's a real friend. Someone that you slept in the same bed with, shared clothes together with, hand-me-downs with. That's a real friend. Someone you laughed with, you cried with in serious situations. That's a real friend, not someone you just see at school and say, "Hey, what's up? How are you?" And you shake hands, you keep rolling. That's not a friend. That's an acquaintance. That's just someone you know. And that's the problem with a lot of these patrolling and these lower income neighborhoods, is that a lot of these police officers, they see what they see on TV and they think every black guy is like that, or they think, oh, every Hispanic is like that. That's not true. You know, what they promote in the media and what they promote on TV is something totally different than what real life is. And a lot of people get caught up because they think, oh, I see it on TV, I believe it. No, it's not the truth. And this is why I think defunding the police is not the answer. No, I don't agree with that. But teaching social issues and social justice classes, yes, you do need to learn about other people. When you learn about other cultures, when you learn about other ethnicities, when you learn about other lifestyles, it does make you a better person. And it educates you also. And another reason why I'm not for defunding the police. Because if if no police are around in our community, guess what's going to happen? The purge is going to happen. No, I'm serious though. The purge is going to happen. Because guess what? The Bloods and the Crips, they're not going to protect us. The SAs, Southsiders, Cholos, Norteños, whatever you call yourself, they're not going to protect us. The GDs, the BDs, the Vice Lords, whatever you call yourself, they're not going to protect us. Who else? Make sure I'm not forgetting anyone so no one gets offended. Oh, you got all the Asian gangs out there. You got the Asian boy Crips. You got the TRGs, all them dudes. They're not going to protect us. They're not. What they're going to do is they're going to commit genocide on their own community like they've been doing for years and years and years and decades. They're going to commit genocide on their own people. That's why we don't need the police to leave the streets. Defunding the police is a horrible idea because when that happens, it's going to be Gotham. It's going to be the purge. And are you ready for the purge? I don't think you are. If you ain't got no heat, I don't think you're ready for a purge because they're going to run up in your house. You ain't going to be able to lock your doors and just go run and, I'm just going to hide under my bed. I'm just going to go hide in the closet. No, sweetheart. They're going to run up in your spot and they're going to get you for everything you got. That is why I don't think defunding the police is a good idea. I'm totally against it. No, we need police officers. Yeah. Do police need social justice reform and retraining? Yes, absolutely. But we need police. We do. You get what I'm saying? And on top of that, gangs were created to protect your community. They weren't created to commit genocide and treason on your community. Gangs were created so the old woman could walk down the street peacefully and go get something to eat or go to the store and walk in peace. Or kids can go play kickball in the street, have a good time. That's what gangs were created for. Gangs were created to protect your community, not destroy it. But sadly, gangs were infiltrated because they believed it was strength in numbers. We're just going to let everybody in. All we got to do is put you on for a couple seconds and you're one of us. No, this person is a dickhead. Why would you let them in your organization? They got another thing out here. It's called the Patriot Act, where if you're a gang member, you could be labeled as a terrorist. Look into that. I might do a story on that just so you guys don't think I'm lying, because for some reason people like to try to come at me like I'm stupid or whatever. And then if I cuss them out or if I tell their asses off, then all of a sudden, oh, you ain't right, Carter. Yeah, screw you. You know who you are. I ain't going to call your name because you don't deserve no promotion. But you know who you are. I ain't calling your name. But yeah, they got the Patriot Act that you could be labeled as a terrorist and they could lock you up indefinitely, or they could exile you out of the country. If you are a known gang member, if you're promoting yourself, if you are not a part of the government informant programs, you could be exiled out of the country. But that's another story. That's another topic for another day. Anyways, long story short, vote yes on Proposition Z. And peace. Greetings and salutations and much appreciation. Welcome back for another episode of the Lake Elsinore Special. In today's special, we're going to be discussing Prop 15. Now, what do you prefer to vote on? Yes or no for Prop 15? I'm going to go with the answer of no, and this is the reason why. The reason why is because property taxes will be raised at an $11.5 billion property tax increase for home and minority business owners. Now, back then, Prop 13 has kept property taxes affordable for everyone. But due to Prop 15, a new law that the government is trying to pass, this will hurt the school districts and this will make it hard for minority business owners in the Black and Hispanic community. Now, the reason why this will make it hard for school districts is that Yearly cash revenue will be received by the school districts of 30%. And the other 70% of that cash revenue will go to state and local governments to spend it how they please and however they want. Now, this is a major key to systemic racism in the Black and Hispanic communities. This refers back to a term called redlining, where they would prohibit you from getting bank loans, home loans, business loans, and car loans. If you looked a certain type of way, or if you had a certain ethnic background name that they did not agree with, they could prohibit you from getting approved for loans, even if your credit is A1. Also, another form of systemic racism is that people don't realize is that in the job discriminations, it happens all of the time with someone's name. For instance, there has been speculations and studies that someone with a Hispanic last name and a Hispanic first name may be discriminated against for getting and earning a job opportunity that someone with an Americanized name would get. So if a Julio Gonzalez decided to apply, or a Shaniqua Johnson decided to apply to a job, they would be discriminated against. Now, let me not overgeneralize the job population and the bank loaning populations and all of them. I don't mean to generalize, but I'm just saying that there's statistics out there that has been proved that people have been systemically racism and systemically discriminated against. So I just want to put that out there. And that is why we need to vote no on Prop 15. Prop 15 will also not only protect people in the minority department, they would also protect people in the low socioeconomic scales also, because let's not forget, there's a lot of Caucasian people out there that is on the lowest socioeconomic scale that are discriminated against also. So we cannot forget about them, because discrimination happens across the board. Systemic racism is not a Black or a Hispanic thing. Racism is not just a Black or Hispanic thing. It's a human thing, human rights. Thank you very much for listening to the Lake Elsinore special, and vote no on Prop 15. Peace. Living my best life. I ain't going back and forth with you niggas. Living my best life. I ain't going back and forth with you. This is what you got to do. The only person that could defeat you in this life is you. You can't defeat anyone, and no one can't defeat you except you. The only people that can defeat them is them. You got to do what you got to do on this earth. And you got to be the best you every day. I'm going to be looking sexy in the summertime. Be looking like Tyrese or Idris Elba or who else? Shoot, I'm gonna be looking like Shannon Sharp. I'm gonna be looking like them dudes in the summertime. I'm dedicating every day to my life and soul. You can't crucify me. You can only judge me by how I walk and talk and carry myself. Not a more, not a less. Peace out.